People keep replaying Ricky Gervais's Golden Globes monologue, and suddenly it doesn't feel like comedy anymore. It feels like a warning. Especially now with Epstein-related documents, sealed material, and unsealing debates trending again, the internet is doing what it always does, watching who's relocating, who's selling property, and who's going quiet all at the same time. And the timing is exactly what's sending people into a spiral. Here's what's driving today's conversation: fast and clean. Ellen DeGeneres reportedly spending extended time in the UK. Richard Gere making a major property move that online commentators are calling panic timing. Ava Longoria quietly shifting her base. Rosie O'Donnell sounding permanent about living abroad. Even chatter around Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes possibly looking outside the US. Before we go any further, let's be clear. No one here is being accused of anything. We're separating what's verifiable from what's rumor and breaking down why the internet is interpreting these moves the way it is.
Lively and Jeffrey Epstein connection is wild, you guys. This letter has all these people listed. Let me just tell you, I looked each and every single one of them up, and there is scandal and shade in relation to each one. Buckle up, I'm gonna go through it.
That's the whole point. Now, quick refresher on why Ricky Gervais is even part of this conversation. When he hosted the Golden Globes, he didn't do polite Hollywood humor. He did the kind of roasting that makes powerful people laugh while clearly feeling uncomfortable. And when Epstein's name came up in that room, it didn't feel random. It felt like a "you all know what this is" moment. Fast forward to now. Epstein-related chatter is loud again. Court filings, unsealing efforts, viral clips resurfacing, and endless debate over what could become public.
Important TV and film executives in the world, people from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look, talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to the cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, "Well done, Netflix, you win everything. Good night." But no, we got to drag it out for 3 hours. You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and off, okay?
The internet is connecting dots fairly or unfairly. Here's the wild part. The public mood shifts first. Then every celebrity move becomes a clue. A relocation, a home sale, a sudden silence. It doesn't get read as a normal life change. It gets read as preparation. Is that fair? Not necessarily, but it explains why this trend keeps blowing up. Once people believe names might surface, timing becomes the entire story. That's why the smart way to approach this is name by name. What's being claimed, what's verifiable, and what's still pure internet projection. Let's start with the name getting pulled the most, Ellen DeGeneres. There are widespread reports that Ellen has been spending extended time in the UK. And again, relocating is not a crime. People move for countless normal reasons. But here's why her name keeps coming up. Timing plus headlines creates a perfect storm for speculation.
Survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know. In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused.
Some coverage and online commentary point to legal paperwork complications tied to a car crash-related lawsuit. The claim is that serving documents can become more complex when someone isn't in the country or isn't easily reachable through standard channels. That alone doesn't prove anything sinister. It could be procedural, logistical, or completely routine. But the internet hears service issues and immediately upgrades it to dodging, then stacks that assumption on top of everything else trending right now. So let's keep this clean. The verifiable part is that there's public discussion about her being overseas and potential administrative complications. The unverified part is the motive people attach to it. Then comes the clip culture layer. Old interviews and vague on-camera moments get resurfaced and framed as hints. That's how the internet works. Take something ambiguous, replay it, and turn it into something heavier. Is it proof of wrongdoing? No. Is it enough to keep her name in the comments when this topic flares up? Absolutely. And that's exactly why Ellen ends up as the headliner here. Not because of confirmed evidence, but because perception, timing, and internet pattern building collided all at once. That's really what's driving this. She's famous, she's polarizing, and the internet is primed to read every move as strategic. And this is the exact pattern you keep seeing over and over again. Relocation turns into running. Privacy turns into hiding. Timing turns into guilt, even when there's no proof at all. Next up is Richard Gere, and this one caught a lot of people off guard. He's been a Hollywood fixture for decades, so when reports surfaced that he sold a major property in Connecticut, the internet jumped immediately. Not just a house either. People described it as a full compound. Online narratives quickly framed it as a panic move, even claiming he sold at a loss. But here's what we can responsibly say. Real estate is complicated. Markets shift, buyers negotiate, taxes change, maintenance costs add up, and private family decisions factor in. A sale price alone doesn't automatically signal desperation. What does make it feel suspicious to people is timing. This all happens while Epstein-related material is trending again, so normal financial decisions start getting treated like coded messages. His public-facing explanation, focused on family priorities and spending more time abroad, isn't strange, illegal, or uncommon. But when people already expect something big to drop, they see a headline and assume intent. So again, the verifiable piece is the property sale and a lifestyle shift. The speculative piece is the motive people attach to it, and that motive is not proven. Now let's talk about Eva Longoria, what people online are calling the quiet exit. She's openly talked in interviews about splitting time between countries and being intentional about where she raises her family. That's a normal conversation for someone with resources and a desire for privacy. But here's where it fits the pattern. Social media obsesses over real estate moves. Claims circulated that she reduced the asking price on a major property, and immediately the narrative flipped to, she needs to sell right now. Price adjustments happen for countless reasons. Market timing, buyer demand, strategy, or simply wanting to finalize a move without dragging it out. The drama isn't the sale itself, it's the silence. When a public figure moves quietly without a big announcement, it creates a vacuum, and the internet fills that vacuum with the darkest theory available. Some people frame it like she's moving money before something drops. Is there evidence of that motive? No. What fuels it is timing plus heightened suspicion. So Eva becomes part of the quiet exit category, not because of wrongdoing, but because her moves are subtle enough for projection. Then there's Rosie O'Donnell, and the language around her move gets dramatic fast. Online, people keep calling it an exile because she's publicly talked about living in Ireland and strongly implied she doesn't plan to return the way she used to. Living abroad can be about peace, privacy, mental health, family, or lifestyle. None of that requires a conspiracy. But here's why the internet stays suspicious. Rosie's been in the industry forever. She's connected. She's been around major names for decades. So when someone like that leaves and sounds final, the online mind immediately asks, what does she know? That question isn't proof, it's emotion mixed with speculation. The honest framing is this. Her move adds to the perception of a broader trend. Public figures choosing distance from the Hollywood machine right as this topic flares up again. And finally, Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. This part is heavily rumor-based, and that matters. Online talk suggests they've looked at property in London or considered spending more time there to raise their kids away from the intensity of Los Angeles. Unlike the other examples, this isn't driven by a clear sale headline. It's industry whisper energy, the kind of story that spreads because it sounds plausible. And that's exactly why it matters. It shows how the pattern grows legs. Once people believe celebrities are getting out, even normal family decisions get pulled into the same storyline. Protecting privacy becomes escaping, and quiet choices get turned into coded exits. Do we have proof they're running? No. What we do have is an online environment where every famous move gets filtered through suspicion. And that's the real pattern driving all of this. And now that you see how this actually works, the pattern becomes obvious. One headline triggers a chain reaction, but the next layer people argue about isn't even who moved. It's how connected these circles really are. Some of these relocations are still just discussions or early planning stages. But the fact that people are even looking tells you something, not as proof, but as a signal of the current temperature. Because let's be real, once the public conversation shifts into documents, names, and who knew what, Hollywood doesn't feel safe for anyone's reputation. Even people with nothing to do with anything start thinking, why stay in the blast zone if you can live quieter somewhere else? And that's the real point. The vibe shifts first. The moves come second. The internet connects it all third. And then comes the deepest layer, connections. We need to talk about how deep these connections appear to go. Not because every connection equals wrongdoing, it doesn't, but because optics alone can end careers. At that level, the world is small. The same events, the same fundraisers, the same parties, the same private rooms. I was in the room turns into, I must be part of it in the public imagination, even when that leap isn't fair. This is what people call the circle effect. Over the years, viral threads pop up showing photos, guest lists, anecdotes, sometimes just one image, one rumor, one recycled story, until it feels like confirmed history. Let's be crystal clear. Being in the same room as someone is not the same as being involved in their crimes. Presence is not guilt. Proximity is not proof. But when a scandal resurfaces, the internet doesn't ask, did they do anything? It asks, were they nearby? And that's where panic comes from. Not always because people are guilty, but because reputation is fragile and proximity becomes a weapon. That's why people keep dragging travel access and recurring names back into Epstein-related discussions. Whether people like it or not, there are names that have been referenced repeatedly in reporting, documentaries, court records, and long-running public conversations. Every time the topic spikes, those names come back like clockwork. So here's how we handle it responsibly. We don't say this person did X. We say this person has been publicly associated through reported travel, meetings, or documented contact. And that association is why the internet keeps pulling them back into the conversation. For example, Stephen Hawking is often mentioned because of a documented trip connected to a science-related event. That example matters because it proves a basic point. Presence alone is not a scandal. Context matters. Woody Allen also gets mentioned due to public reporting placing him in overlapping locations with Epstein at different times. Is being seen a crime? No. But once the public frame turns negative, every detail gets reinterpreted. Les Wexner is another recurring name because of well-documented reporting around Epstein's access to wealth, power, and resources. From there, viral posts start stacking dramatic claims, confident language, exaggerated scenarios, until rumor sounds like fact. That's why precision matters. If something isn't verified, it stays reported, alleged, or rumored. The internet doesn't need help spreading speculation. It needs separation between solid information and invention. Naomi Campbell is also pulled into these conversations due to reported social links within Epstein's broader orbit. Online comments jump straight to "she definitely knew" or "she definitely saw," but those are accusations, not evidence. So we don't say definitely. We say this is why people keep bringing it up. The same thing happens with Chris Tucker, often mentioned because of a documented trip that some frame as charity-related and others frame suspiciously. Again, being on a plane isn't a verdict, but when the topic trends, was on the flight, it gets treated like proof. Kevin Spacey comes up for similar reasons. And because he already carries public controversy, any association turns into gasoline. In moments like this, nuance disappears, suspicion stacks, context collapses. And here's why all of this actually matters. A lot of these stories aren't proof stories, they're perception stories. When multiple famous people are reported to be selling homes, spending time abroad, limiting public appearances, or tightening their circles, while Epstein-related material trends again, you're watching a collision between timing and paranoia. Are these moves coordinated? We do not have proof. Are they tied to one single release date or document drop? We do not have proof. But do patterns feel convincing when the audience already believes a storm is coming? Absolutely. That's how the internet works. People see headlines, selling property, moving overseas, going quiet, and they don't read normal life change. They read preparation. They read protection. They read get out before it gets ugly. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, it explains why this topic keeps exploding. Years ago, Ricky Gervais stood on that stage and joked about Hollywood hypocrisy like he didn't care who hated him. He joked about the elephants nobody wanted to name. Now, with Epstein-related chatter heating up again, people are watching celebrities relocate, sell, go quiet, and tighten their lives. And the internet is treating it like a mass exit strategy. Ellen overseas. Richard Gere making major property moves. Eva Longoria shifting quietly. Rosie sounding permanent abroad. Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes rumored to explore distance. Is any of that proof of criminal behavior? No. Is it enough to create the most addictive kind of online story? The kind where everyone feels like they're solving a mystery in real time? Absolutely. Now I want to hear from you. Which celebrity move surprised you the most? And which part of this story do you think is being exaggerated the hardest online? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want me to keep tracking this as it develops, make sure to hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. This is Drama and Brief, and this story isn't going away. It's only getting louder. That's how the internet works. People see headlines, selling property, moving overseas, going quiet, and they don't read normal life change. They read preparation. They read protection. They read get out before it gets ugly. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, it explains why this topic keeps exploding. Years ago, Ricky Gervais stood on that stage and joked about Hollywood hypocrisy like he didn't care who hated him. He joked about the elephants nobody wanted to name. Now, with Epstein-related chatter heating up again, people are watching celebrities relocate, sell, go quiet, and tighten their lives. And the internet is treating it like a mass exit strategy. Ellen overseas. Richard Gere making major property moves. Eva Longoria shifting quietly. Rosie sounding permanent abroad. Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes rumored to explore distance. Is any of that proof of criminal behavior? No. Is it enough to create the most addictive kind of online story? The kind where everyone feels like they're solving a mystery in real time? Absolutely. Now I want to hear from you. Which celebrity move surprised you the most? And which part of this story do you think is being exaggerated the hardest online? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want me to keep tracking this as it develops, make sure to hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. This is Drama and Brief, and this story isn't going away. It's only getting louder.